What is up, guys? So welcome to this art update video. So finally we are update 1. So this video is going to show these paintings I did with watercolors. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So guys, this was the first painting I painted. It looks kind of bad, but it was still good. At least I ended up learning how to compose the painting and taking the first steps in doing this. The painting was supposed to be a field with hills and a clear sky on the left, and the one on the right was supposed to be a night sky with the stars and a blue underglow horizon. Something I learned as I was starting this was that the paper I was using was not meant for watercolor painting. The paper I ended up using was kind of stiff, but it wasn't like computer paper. It was more like a certificate, and so I just ended up using this. So the main whole point of this first painting was just to test and see if I was ready to start painting. More like a testing ground. Didn't even use the paint I bought or even any of the papers I mentioned before. And yeah, I just used a old stationery store bought paint, generic shit. Overall it was meh, this painting, but yeah, that was the first thing. So let's see the next painting. Evening and Sea. So this was the second painting. I ended up using all my supplies I bought, ended up taking out the page from the book and taping it down to the desk, so when I painting, the paper won't move when I paint on it. Yeah, it turns out I needed better tape that won't tear the paper when removing it. Hopefully I can get better tape next time, but we'll see. This painting I wanted to cover the basics of blending in the skies. I was looking for something so simple to paint, so I saw this evening sky with a telephone pole and the lines. I had to try. For this I had to practice my drawing. Even though it was simple, I wanted to see how the lines would go and the position of the lines, how it would end up on the paper. Plus I suck at drawing and didn't want to do shit up the painting while drawing. The other one was a bit more complicated with all the layers of blending in the shading with the ocean and the land. I had to do the sky first, then I had to shade the water from the light to dark so it would give a kind of 3D effect, like light to dark. So yeah. Then I used some white paint so that it could look like it has sea foam and the waves. I added some blue to give it more depth in the image. It was supposed to look like this, but I didn't get the white spots small enough, but it kind of looked meh. The sun was by far the most difficult thing to do, since I forgot about it and ended up having to lift the paint up or just before it dried, and then I had to kind of paint a light orange color. But it kind of turned out like that and I didn't really like it. Then I had to lift back up the paint from the sun and then it kind of gets screwed up. But eventually it kind of worked it back into the original color. After the paint dried, I drew a small boat with some sails here and its reflection, then kind of blended it with some dark blue paint, as you can see. So that covers it for painting number 2. It was kind of like the true first painting I did with all the supplies I bought. I kind of like the one with the telephone more than the sea. I think I could do better with that one. Relaxing evening. The third painting, I wanted to go for another evening painting and wanted to try and use the whole canvas this time. This was a warm cotton candy kind of evening with coconut trees in the foreground and the sky in the background. Before I started this painting, I tried mixing all the colors I needed beforehand so that I can blend the colors while the canvas was wet and not let it dry, because if it dried, the painting would kind of smudge all over and look kind of horrible. I didn't have the right colors I wanted to use, but I ended up using a different color and kind of making that work. And yeah, I think I will still continue to mix all the colors beforehand, since that was the easiest thing to do and did not have the paint dry while painting. After letting the paint dry for a good while, I started to paint the foreground, whereas it was the shadow and then some buildings and some bushes. After that, I then started to paint the coconut trees in various sizes, and one of them was slightly off the canvas, so it would look like it was just the branches just coming off to the side of the canvas, and then I had another set of larger ones to the right side of the canvas. painting the coconut trees was like by far the relaxing part of it. I was just like turning off my brain and I just relaxed. If I didn't stop, I would end up painting the entire canvas in coconut trees, so I kind of stopped. Then I added some yellow paint to the buildings in the foreground to simulate the lights was on. And yeah, I think this painting tree turned out really nice, and it was so simple and quick to paint. So guys, let's see what I learned during these videos. So as a beginner, let's see some lessons learned. So guys, number one is the brush strokes and how I'm applying the paint with my brush to the paper. So like if I go to paint on the paper, I kind of realize you're not supposed to like go back and take your wet brush and then paint over the same dry paint, because it's going to cause a lot of problems, something called cauliflower effect. So that's one. Number two is the water on the canvas, or how much or how too little water can really affect your painting in terms of blending and the kind of style you're going for. So like if you have too much water, you can blend the colors too much and it tends to look muddy, and if there's not enough water, there won't be enough water to mix the paint to blend evenly, and you wouldn't get that nice gradient effect. So guys, number three is paper quality. So guys, this is something I did not even take into consideration, like the thickness of the paper, what material the paper is made out of, and how they manufacture the paper. We can take a look at this at a later date, but I realized the more thin paper you have, the kind of shitty it is, and then the thicker quality paper is what you want to paint on. Your color is gonna look nice and brighter on the thicker paper, whereas the thin paper is gonna just look washed out. I'm thinking to get some more high quality paper soon guys, but probably when I finish my set of paper I have, then I'll probably look into that and we'll see, do like a comparison painting and see how that goes. So yeah, so guys, number four is mixing paints. So in the first two paintings I did not pre-mix my paints, meaning I had to take them out of the tubes or and then mix them, and then cause my water on the canvas to end up drying up. And then yeah, it didn't turn out too great, but the third painting I pre-mixed all the paints and it turned out great. So I think I'm going to be continue doing that from now on. It has one more step though. You kind of have to know what colors you're going to on your canvas. You can't just paint all willy-nilly, but I guess if you're an expert you probably could do that. Alright guys, so last thing is upcoming plans. So I have plans for painting on this book, which is a little journal book, and it has like a lot of pages in it, and it's watercolor paper, so that's really cool. And then I want to take a look at something called negative space painting. So if you want to see what is that, please subscribe to see when I post that video. And the last thing is guys, my scheduling of these update videos. I'm just going to be pushing this back from 2 weeks, probably 3 weeks a month, because my schedule is busy and I need some more time to focus on the YouTube stuff and doing the paintings and then doing all the editing and then shooting this video. So guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed my paintings, and probably I can inspire somebody someday. So yeah, peace out guys, thanks.